Hi, my name's Tim, and today we're going to talk about Himiway e-bike batteries. All three of the Himiway bikes, the Cruiser, the Step Through, and the Escape, come with a 48 volt battery. The Escape has a 14 amp hour battery, and the Himiway Cruiser and Step Through have a 17.5 amp hour battery. Today we're going to go through a list of about 16 questions to help educate you on the use, the maintenance, and the storage of a Himiway lithium-ion e-bike battery. Let's get to it. Does my Himiway e-bike come with a charger? Yes, each Himiway bike comes with its own charger. If I have multiple Himiway e-bikes, do I have to use the chargers with the battery it came with, or can I use them on the batteries from the other bikes? As long as all the batteries are the same voltage, in the case of Himiway bikes, they're all 48 volts, the chargers will be interchangeable. If you had, say, a 52 volt battery, you do not want to use a 48 volt charger. So make sure that you always use the right voltage charger for the battery. Do I have to charge the battery while it's on the e-bike? No, you do not have to charge it while it's on the e-bike. You can remove the battery and charge it off the bike, or you can leave it on the bike and charge it there. Either one works. How do I remove my battery? Well, on the Cruiser and the Step Through, you insert the key, turn the key, and it releases the battery. The battery will slide out to the side, and you simply pull and lift it off the bike. To put it back on the bike, you line up the tab at the bottom of the battery, you slide it back in until it clicks and locks in place. On the Escape, you put the key in, turn it to the unlock position, and then there's the knob on the bottom of the battery there. You turn it, and it releases the battery, and you just lift it up and out of the Escape. You reverse the process to put it back in, you slide it up, push it down till it clicks in place, and then remove the key. What is the proper way to plug in the charger to the battery? First thing you do is you take the barrel connector, you lift the rubber flap on the battery, and you slide the barrel connector into the battery. Then you take the plug and plug it into the wall outlet. The light on the charger will turn red until the battery is fully charged, then it will turn green. Why is my charger so hot while charging? That is a normal process. When you charge the battery, the charger will get hot to the touch. Just make sure that it's right side up, the light is on top, and it's in a well ventilated area, and the heat will dissipate. It's perfectly normal. How long does my battery take to charge? With the 2 amp charger that comes with the bike, it can take 6 to 9 hours depending on how far down your discharge is on your battery. Can you leave your battery plugged in overnight? The short answer to that is yes. The battery has a battery management system chip in the battery that will stop the battery from overcharging. But batteries normally will lose charge over time. And when it gets down to a certain point, it will kick the charger back on and charge it, so you will lose some of your life cycles. A minuscule amount, but over time that can add up. So it's always a good idea to unplug the charger from the battery when you're done charging. Every once in a while, though, I will say that you do want to keep it plugged in, and that's to balance the cells within the battery. So when you first get the battery, it's a good idea. You plug in the charger, you leave it sit for a good 5-6 hours extra, and the cells within the battery will actually charge up to the full amount. And you should do that periodically, every 3 or 4 months. Just make sure you plug it in for an extended period of time to make sure that all those cells are balanced. Should I charge my battery after each use? You can, but it's not necessary. Lithium-ion batteries do not have a memory, and you will not affect your life cycles if you charge it after every ride. A life cycle is determined by a full discharge and a full recharge. If you discharge it 50% and recharge it, that's only a half a life cycle. So you can charge it whenever you want. I typically will ride 2 days. I usually ride 20 miles a night. I'll ride 20 miles one night, 20 miles the next night, and then I'll charge it after that second ride. That way I get the most use out of my battery, and it works well. How many charge cycles is my battery rated for? Typically, lithium-ion batteries for e-bikes run between 500 and 900 cycles. Himiway says that under optimal conditions, you will get 900 charge cycles out of these Samsung cells. Should I discharge my battery completely? As a rule, no. You don't want to run your battery down to the minimum voltage. Now, the BMS, the battery management system, will stop it from going down too far. So does that mean you can't ride it until the battery gets so low that it shuts off the bike? No, it doesn't mean that at all. You can absolutely do that because the battery management system chip will stop it from going below, I think it's 36 volts, which will make the battery pack unchargeable. It'll stop well before that, so you'll be fine. But you don't want to leave your battery discharged at that state for an extended period of time. You want to bring it home, let it sit for a half an hour or so just to kind of dissipate any heat that's built up, and then you want to charge it because lithium-ion batteries don't like to be discharged completely. And as a matter of fact, if you go below a certain voltage, they won't recharge again. The battery management system just won't let it. How does temperature affect the battery? While riding, the temperature can decrease the amount of power you have and the amount of miles that you get. So if it's really cold or even really hot, the amount of battery that you have to ride around with can actually be diminished. So it's best if you can, especially in cold weather, maybe build a little cover to go over it to help keep the battery at the right temperature. Other than maybe having a little decreased efficiency, it shouldn't hurt the battery. As long as you don't leave it out while not using it in the cold for an extended period of time, you should be fine. Should I charge my battery when it's hot or cold? It's really best to let your battery acclimate to a room temperature before charging. If you're in a situation where you're storing your bike out in a cold garage, say sub 40 degrees Fahrenheit, you don't really want to leave your battery out there. You probably want to bring your battery in and keep it in some place where there's a room temperature that it can stay at. That's best for it. If your battery does get cold and you want to charge it, you should let the battery warm up because you can damage the battery by plugging in a charger when the cells are really cold. So room temperature is really your best bet there. If you don't have a heated garage that you can keep at 50 or 60 degrees, bring the battery inside, leave your bike outside, and you should be all set. Can I ride my e-bike on cold and hot days? Yes. Although it's best not to leave your battery on in direct sunlight, say when you're at the beach, because the battery will get hot and that will decrease efficiency. And batteries don't like getting super warm or super cold, so try to keep them covered up or in the shade if possible when you're not riding. When you're riding, of course, you've got the airflow, which will keep it at a nice even temperature. How do you store your battery for extended periods? Again, we talked about the battery being in the garage. If it's cold, you want to bring it inside. And I think as a general rule, it's a good idea for it to be in a warm, dry place. You want the battery to be, I think, unplugged from the bike because under normal conditions, the battery will slowly discharge. That's just a normal function of the battery. If you're on the bike, it might even go quicker. If there's some sort of light or something on, it may draw down that quicker. So take the battery off the bike. Keep it in a warm, dry place. The other thing you should do is you should bring the level of the battery to about 70%. The range I go with is 50 to 80%, so you can charge up to that level, or you can discharge go take the bike for a ride around the block and discharge to that level. That's 70% seems to be the number where you're going to get the best results. You can let it sit for a month, 6 weeks like that. You should go in and check it by pushing the button on the battery, seeing what the level's at. If it's starting to get down, you want to charge it up a little, or even better, you charge it all the way up and take it for a little 5-mile ride around the block to bring it back down. That way, your battery should last forever. As long as you don't discharge it all the way, these lithium-ion batteries are really good and easy to maintain. How do I charge for optimal battery longevity? Well, there's been a lot of debate about this, but as a rule, they indicate that if you charge your battery up to 80% of capacity on a regular basis, you will actually increase your life cycle significantly. Personally, I charge my battery all the way up when I charge it because I want to have that use. Because if I only charge it 80%, that's 20% of the miles I can't do. And I'd rather go do the miles. This battery is going to run 900 cycles. So that full charge cycle is all the way down and all the way up. So 900, that's almost 3 solid years of doing that every day, which you don't do. You charge it 2 or 3 times a week at the most. So you're going to get 5 to 10 years out of this battery if you maintain it well. But if you do want to increase those life cycles, you can charge it every time to 80%. And there are aftermarket chargers that have those settings that it'll automatically charge it to 80% and stop. And then every once in a while, you should bring it all the way up to 100% to let all those cells balance out. I hope this video has been helpful and has a lot of good information for you. If you have any questions, reach out to Himiway support and they can help you with anything you need to know. Have a great day.